Hey guys, JT with my first run thoughts on the new Arrma Granite 4x4 BLX. You know that Arrma just released this about 3 weeks ago at the time of this video. I know it had been anticipated for a while since January, so we were glad that this actually came out finally, because it does give us some competition to some other brands that are out there as well, especially at the price range of this. So this is just going to be kind of a quick I'll try to make it quick, under 5 or 6 minutes, of my first run thoughts of this truck. You guys know that I've had this thing and I have driven it a lot. I've taken it off-road, I've taken it to the skate park, and I've jumped and I've driven a lot more than what I've actually filmed it. And I actually like the truck. You guys know that I am a monster truck guy and I do love my trucks. And I always said years ago that if Arrma released a 4x4 Granite, because I like their two-wheel drive Granite, they would do well with that. And they did it with the brush version, which I had. And I said if they do a brushless version that can touch up on a couple of weak points that the brushless one had, or the brush one had, they would be well in the market, and that's just what they did. So I'm going to dim this light just a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't affect the video quality too much. So they heard, they probably already had this plan, but they were going to go ahead and release one anyway. But they knew we were going to want one, so they released it at a good price. At the time of this video, this truck is $299. And to me, it's the best bargain out there you can get for a 10 scale 4-wheel drive monster truck. And I'll go over some of those features and why I think it's the best bang for the buck. It's going to give a lot of other cars that may be a little bit more expensive monster trucks, or maybe a couple bucks less, a run for their money, because this truck is tough. I've really put it through its paces. Some of the things I was worried about was the wheelie bar. I was thinking that the wheelie bar would possibly break off from some of the abuse I did jumping it on and off road. You guys saw when I took it to the skate park. Sometimes it did land on the river, but the wheelie bar didn't break. But they can also, what you can do is you can adjust this wheelie bar. You guys see those 3 holes there. You can do adjustments to this. So of course you can lower the wheelie bar down lower if you want. Right now it's up about as high as it'll go, but it's got 2 more slots to lower it down if you want to kind of control your wheelies. But I left it kind of at the factory setting with that. Differences between this and the brush version, of course, is there's a couple of things with the added wheelie bar that's on there. They do give you some black chrome wheels, front and rear, on all 4. The tire compound is about the same. I didn't see any difference between the tire compound with that. And then, of course, the orange painted body scheme. You only get one color with this, but I kind of like orange anyway. So they both do come with these attached body clips to the body, which I do like with that. So haven't damaged the body or anything like that. It's been damaged, but it hasn't been destroyed. It's got a lot of scrapes and scratches, but it's held up real well. I was surprised. I didn't have any holes or dents or anything, but over time it'll get bashed a little bit more and stuff like that. So take this body off real quick. Other than the wheelie bar, there are some differences with this particular vehicle than the the brush model. So for instance, you do have some adjustability here that you do not have on the brushed model. You're going to have a stronger servo and of course the brushless system. But one of the things that broke a lot on the brushed model when you went brushless was going to be the input shaft. Now that has a metal piece or component to it. And I'll do a breakdown of this at some point, and then I'll do a comparison with this in the Sentin 4x4, where I actually show you guys some of those components as well. The motor plate, you guys really can't see it too much, but you can see it right there, is going to be aluminum. And it does, with this particular model, have fixed holes, which basically means fixed mounting holes for a 15, a 20, and a 26 tooth pinion gear. Now, this motor does have a 5mm shaft. It's not a standard what you think of a 3mm shaft, so it is thicker. So you will have to get 32 pitch gears with the 5mm that can fit on a 5mm shaft motor. So just consider that when you're buying pinion gears for this. Arrma is going to release, take this light down just a little bit. I did see they're going to release an adjustable motor mount where you don't have to stick to these 3 pinion gears that they've pre-drilled in here for this. So I'm not sure when that's going to be released, but it is in their release. And then they also have some CNC machined gears and stuff, because the differential gears in here still are plastic from what I've seen. Now I may be biting my words when I go in and take this thing apart, but these are still plastic in here, but it's held up, guys. There's a lot of companies like Associated and stuff that does make plastic gears that don't get ate up. You know, it just all depends on how they're constructed and some of the material that they used. And these have held up. They've held up to my speed runs on the street and my bashing and stuff with it. So another thing to consider with this is it does come with EC5 connectors. This is probably going to be the go forward for Arrma in their cars, because I believe the XT90s was kind of a hobby code thing, which is fine. I mean, you guys need to either consider getting adapters for this, or you can get what I've been running in here as well as this reaction battery. This is a 50C 5000 milliamp battery, and this is run good in here. This is a little bit better than the Onyx batteries because you can run it and you won't consider or get any puffing after maybe several runs with it. So other things with this, of course, is going to be the brushless system, and then the servo is going to be a lot stronger as well. You guys saw in some of the videos I was talking about how fast the servo is, and this is a great servo for a ready to run kit. And then the brushless system as well. This is a 100 amp speed controller, and this is a 3200 kV motor, but it can handle the power without raising the temperatures up. I think my temperatures were at about 135, 140 degrees, and that was like running 2 packs back after back on 3S off-road. So that's held up well. The drive shafts, like I mentioned, they're aluminum front and rear. They got aluminum shaft on it. So you don't have to worry about those breaking, because people were worried about that. But that has been an upgrade, and you can buy that upgrade and put it in your brush model if you have that as well. And I mentioned that it does have, if I didn't, it does have 32 pitch gears on here instead of the 48 that's on the brush model. So, I mean, guys, with that, I mean, this truck has held up well. I did have a little bit of a leaky shock. And I think it was just too much oil that was in there. So I did go ahead and correct that just a little bit. So that wasn't a big deal, a big showstopper with that. You can just put some oil on. They were pretty easy to construct and put back together. I may upgrade the shocks at some point in time, but as this truck sits, guys, it's a good truck. I mean, if you got this for a kid, if you didn't want them to run on 2S, because it's still going to be pretty fast on 2S, you have to switch the ESC into nickel metal mode, and you could run it with like an 8.4 pack or a 6-cell nickel metal pack or something like that until they can get used to it. But if they run it on 2S, it's still going to be pretty fast, but it's going to be a tough, durable truck. I mean, I can't say anything bad about this. I mean, I'm not trying to boast on it, but I haven't broken anything, and the truck is ran and handled well. And 3S is a beast. So I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this. I may convert this to a stadium truck at some point in time. I'm not 100% sure, but I probably will. I did it with the brush version, so I may do it with this, and I may do a couple other things I'm kind of thinking about as well with this. But this is a good truck, guys. For the price point, $299, you get a ready-to-run brushless 4-wheel drive monster truck that can handle the power and handle the abuse you give to it. And of course, it's got Arrma support with it as well. I believe they still do the 2-year warranty, so that's another good thing as well with that. The radio is 2.4 gigahertz. It is a 3-channel radio in case you want to add or make use of that 3rd channel with it as well. But this has been a good truck. I'll be running this against the Centon 4x4 BLX and then doing a couple other things with it as well, so you guys can see. And I'll be doing a comparisons video too, so you guys can see some of the size differences as well. I know some of you guys went ahead and purchased this truck, and you haven't had any negative comments like me. I mean, it's been a good truck for the money. I mean, the competition for this is going to be the Red Cat that just came out. Then they got the Red Cat TRMT. That's about $60 more now. And then you have the Stampede 4x4, which I think is $379 now. They lowered the price of it. Then you got the Proline Pro MT, but that's $399, but you still have to buy electronics for it. So you have to consider some of the competition that this truck has. And I've seen all of those trucks run except for the newer Red Cat, when I can't remember the name of it right now. And this truck just outperforms them. I mean, you think about price to get this thing running, you just need to add your own battery to it, and then you're gone. You know, some of the other trucks are going to need electronics to it, or you're going to have to buy tires and wheels, etc. for it. Or better tires and wheels, and buy some upgraded parts when you start putting power to it. So that's all I have for this right now, guys. First run thoughts on it. I'm going to run it some more, and then I'll be giving a final review, and I'll do a breakdown as well. A better breakdown of some of the components that are a little bit different, because there's a couple of things that's a little bit different than the brushed version as well. So as always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.